Trix always does extremely well with movement, which is way back in the day why he did so well with Guan Yu, so great with Wukong. Warriors are his mainstay. Looks like we're going to be starting off. Cloud9 going to take the first ban, or second ban. It's going to be Janice and Isis. Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was a lot.
No surprise. I mean, Aurora, you're jumping in your seat. Just no surprise.
Yeah, Isis for sure. Like, after they played against it, they probably were having success against it in scrims. They're like, yeah, we could play against it. But now since they're on stage and they played against it one time, they're like, no more Isis. Let's get it out of here.
And I mean, that fits what they usually do. Cloud9 has banned Isis.
Ratatosker, Alquang, both made it through. They can't raw pick Ratatosker here because Fenrir's still available. Paradigm's going to have to pick Fenrir in the next run. Otherwise, Ratatosker's going to get through for free. Alquang already on the table, and I'm assuming someone's trolling.
I think Bologna was a great pickup here, especially with Trix, how well he played it last game. Them getting Bologna is huge, and Bologna is like a really, really strong god in LAN, it seems, so far.
But Ratatosker's picked up here. Fenrir's still available. They're going to pick Freya. This is an instantaneous Freya pick here, or rather Fenrir, but Bologna has already been picked. Oh, I'm sorry, switching to Geb on the left side. If Bologna's already locked in, they could switch her to ADC. They could switch her to support. They could lock in Fenrir. Otherwise, Ratatosker's going to get away with being crazy for free.
And Ratatosker, this is one of the newer gods that we have on deck. Wow. We saw Pwash the first time around. Ratatosker is going to be, well, if you guys are unfamiliar with the god, extremely mobile, not just with the dash, with his number one ability, but his ultimate allows him to...
He's a pain in the ass.
And he usually gets Blink as well, so...
Blink, dash, an ultimate that allows you to travel the world, frankly. This character is one of the most mobile characters in Smite.
One of the best things, and probably the strongest thing about Ratatosker, is he needs beats.
Yes.
Right? He does not need a second active. He can build Blink, Shell, Weakening, Enfeebling, Girdle of Might, whatever he wants.
Yeah, Blink's amazing because you could pop your 2, you blink, you dash, and the acorns just follow you all the way, and you can go through so many people with it. It just does so much damage.
It's so dirty. I didn't even think about that one. Third round bans are coming out, both mid lane focused. Pwash, Agni, and Apollo will be picked up one more time for Cloud9. So Omega very, very clearly comfortable on the Audacity Hunter.
So Apollo being locked in here, the Mesmerize is big because he can shut down the Ratatosker dashes.
Yeah, they have a really heavy dive comp. They have the Thor ultimate, the Bologna ultimate to jump in. Athena can either ult Thor, Bologna, or even Apollo. Apollo could dash in Mez, ult into the backline. So they are looking to dive Frey here because they can't really dive in Alquang, Geb, or Ratatosker. So it's pretty surprising that they picked so much. Oh, and the Chronos got locked in as well.
Wow.
Chronos is so strong here, but I have question marks all over my face.
No. What is this?
We'll talk about Zeus in a moment. MLC Stealth loves Zeus, and with the way this composition is, it's going to protect it. But Paradigm, Alquang, Ratatasker, Chronos, Freya, who's going where? Geb support, that's all I've got.
How did Geb, Alquang, Ratatasker get on the same team? First off. And second of all, how is Zeus the answer to this? Cloud9 either are going to wind up being geniuses or they're going to go to Game 3 very upset.
Well, if Cloud9 works through CC really well in these team fights on the Alquang and Ratatasker, the Zeus is going to get crazy damage off on him because they're both going to be looking to dive the backline, which is Zeus and Apollo. Apollo can mez for Zeus, and Zeus has his ultimate, so they could just stand in that and hopefully hope for the best and Ratatasker and Alquang to die.
See the stats?
No.
0-0 win percent null.
But now this is very interesting. Zeus hasn't been played here in the finals. He hasn't been played in the summer split at all. But those of you at home that have followed Cloud9 all the way back to when they were Cognitive and Cognitive Prime, this is a god that MLC Stealth absolutely loves. He's a longtime Zeus player, and for all of Zeus's downfalls, which is mainly a lack of escape, MLC Stealth is able to utilize that damage, which is a lot to his advantage.
And another thing with Zeus against this team comp, they have the Ratatasker and the Freya. If Zeus gets 3 charges on them and they go into the air, he could kill them still.
That's true.
So that's pretty good on his part.
Very, very true. As you said, the detonate range of Zeus, well, there is no range.
Yeah.
So Zeus able to go ahead and do it. We're going to get into our second game of the summer finals presented by Curse Voice, Paradigm versus Cloud9, and right away teams are ready to look each other, warding the mid-harpies.
So it looks like we're going to see Cubo Fred taking Alquang to the jungle, Zalia taking Ratatosker to the solo lane.
Wow.
He'll be matching up against, it looks like, Mr. Mackey and the Bologna. Thor going, of course, to the jungle. MLC Stealth in the mid lane with Zeus. Nothing surprising there. What is a little surprising to me is Lobster's Chronos. Have we seen this?
I don't believe we have seen much Chronos out of Lobster. When I think of Lobster, I think of Agni. I think of, well, everything but Chronos.
Yeah.
But we mentioned it a lot in the past game, Brandon. Lobster's a guy that you don't really question these things. He's played so much Smite at such a high level. It's something new, but I'm expecting a high performance.
Well, 10 seconds till the creep spawn here. We're going to see, it looks like a very similar start coming out from Paradigm on the bottom. And if we don't mind, Clumsy, I would like to ride around with Paradigm on the bottom right side of the map here. Ratatosker, Outkwong, and Chronos. And I really want to just pay attention to what they're doing because this is so important to their early game start. So you're going to see the jungle and solo start the speed, and you're going to see Lobster do the back camps by himself. Now remember, it's 80 feet, not 60 feet anymore. So they're killing 2 camps at the same time. Then Zalia and Cubo Fred move over to do the duo on the blue buff. By the time they finish this up and go to lane, they will have lost maybe 1 creep, most likely none, and Lobster goes to lane getting 2 points of experience.
So Lobster's going to be on that Chronos. We'll see Cubo Fred join him in the middle lane while Zalia makes his way into the right side.
Lost no creeps
on this Ratatasker. Yep. Able to get all of them. And, seeing these new gods on Zelia, not a surprise to what we're used to.
Oh, that chain lightning was real cute. Stealth throwing a big warning sign saying, like, I am the god of thunder. We will for God of lightning? God of gods? I don't know. He's scary, man.
I can't say that on the air. What were you going to say, Aurora?
But yeah, Ratatosker might die here.
Mackey's in
or
trouble.
Bologna. Oh my God!
Quick first blood, and as I said, not a surprise to see new gods on Zelia showing that he's put in the work, immediately gets the kill, not even a minute into the game.
He's got the blue Acorn here, meaning he's either going Sapphire or Emerald. Now, we saw Divios with the Emerald doing a lot of healing. That's what it does, right? You're going to get that Acorn Blast to heal you up for each target it hits. Otherwise, Sapphire turns the Acorns themselves into bombs. A little less damage PvE, a little more damage PvP.
Yeah, the Emerald Acorn's really good because he's just going to be able to sustain himself and get a lot of farm. If Ratatasker makes it into the late game, farmed up, he's just going to be dashing all around your backline and just picking people off really easily. So that's what he's looking to do here.
Well, Zalia forced to dash away here. Mackie coming back to lane with a 4-minute cooldown incurred on that level 1 teleport.
Back camps being cleared out by Paradigm. And take a look at this mid lane matchup. I'm coming back to Chronos, one of my favorite gods. Zeus up there as well. And Zeus, he's not going to get it on Lobster, that's for sure. But Zeus just hasn't been played a lot. It's a lot of surprise for a lot of the players at home. So we take a look. He's building the Soul Stone, Aurora. How does that impact Zeus?
Yeah, the Soul Stone's really cool because it gives him a lot of mana regen, so he's able to just pick up health potions, not really any mana potions. And he's also able to get more power on his detonates. So what it does is you auto-attack 5 times. Once you get 5 stacks, you're going to get 30 more magic power on your abilities. So it's going to make Zeus's detonates even stronger earlier on.
Emerald has been finished 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. The damage isn't going to be super high, but he's going to be able to force Mackie back again. If Mackie doesn't leave here, he's going to drop.
Yeah, something else to look at, too. For people that don't play against a lot of Ratatasker, his 2 does so much damage early on. I was playing as Ares the other day, and his 2 at level 7 did 400 damage to me. Some crazy number. It's like insane, yeah.
Well, it's going to be hard for him to do that much with the blue Acorn, though. Remember, it applies slows, not damage.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to really put himself in an awkward... Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. It does a lot. Remember, all 12 Acorns can hit on the way in and on the way out if you position absolutely perfectly.
Speaking of positioning, Paradigm positioned perfectly on the right side of those Harpies, spawning momentarily. They'll be able to pick up the mid-Harps, no problem. Cloud9 putting themselves in position to gain footing on the left side to protect those Harpies, but they'll be up in a little bit. Zelia, on the other hand, playing Denial, not allowing Mr. Mackie to pick up a blue buff at all.
Cubo Fred blinking right past. No one can spot him in that stealth. He's able to get back safely. Still, first blood belongs to Paradigm. This time, not the bigger lead here. As you can see, only about 500 gold total, even with first blood.
These left Harpies about spotting, should be not blinking just yet, so not momentarily. There they are. Just momentarily, Paradigm going to pick, or Cloud9 going to pick these ones up, no problem.
This core fight's really strong from Cloud9. They have the Zeus, Athena, and Thor. They have a ton of CC to set Zeus up, and they just have a lot of burst damage out of Thor. So
Paradigm's
doing a really good job by just giving the big Harpies up, and yeah, It's paying off because they're just farming right now.
And I mean, you said it earlier. You could just stay when you're getting aggressed on. You can just hang out in the Zeus ultimate. Well, if there's a Bologna ultimate there as well, there's damage for the enemy to take, and you have extra protections.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect combination for help. I'm being aggressed on.
So we're 4 minutes 30 into the game. Gold Fury still available here, albeit not super worth it at this stage of the game. They're normally, in the previous patches, would have been an attempt there from Cloud9, but they're going to be smart about this. They're going to go back and continue farming. Speaking of farming, Xaylia by himself in this lane again.
Xaylia has been pushing up Mr. Mackey systematically. No problem for him there, level 8 above the level 7.
Yeah, if you look at the dual lane too, one thing Cloud9 just did is they took their purple buff away. That's really good for Cloud9 because Paradigm's dual lane is a Geb Freya. You have to take advantage of that. They're so defensive early on and they're so weak. So Cloud9 did a fantastic job there.
We saw what happens late game with Freya and how strong she is. It's quite the opposite in the early game. Freya's a character that is 100% dependent on attack speed. So what that means is you need the items. Early game, there's next to no clear, there's next to no damage, and that purple buff, it's just going to help her out. Taking that away helps them out.
All right, so Clumsy, let's bring up Golden Hand here. I'm interested to see Xaylia, who is not back to the base yet. He bought both versions of his Acorn. He's looking at about another 100 gold before he can back. It's going to be full Warrior Tabby when he gets back there.
Full boots coming out, and that'll just allow him to be even more mobile.
Yeah, and he'll be able to rotate with his ultimate. He could just run over, or he could even ult over, and then he'll have the boots movement to get back to solo, and he won't even lose that much tower damage. Especially the way how far Makey's behind right now.
It's brutal, right? That Emerald really getting a lot of work in. This is, I say, one of the two the Acorns that really get things done. We usually see the Europeans going for the Opal as opposed to the North Americans really like the Emerald, most notably Divio. So this is not something I expected from Xaylia. Considering the fact that he is known as such an aggressive player, it's strange to see him go into defense.
What's very interesting to me is game 1, Xaylia won that lane, but it wasn't that huge. This time around, Xaylia's warmed up, and now we're seeing the solo lane MVP of Europe take on the sub.
Dude, he's still in this lane. He's at 1,800 gold. He could have backed to get boots already, but now he's going to stick around for this wave, maybe even another.
Trick's in a little bit of trouble, and he's up in the air. Are they going to go in? And they will. Trick's staying stunned out just a little bit, but the stun from Tricks will hurt Annenster. Detonate comes out, not enough to kill, but now Xaylia's made the rotation, but he's all by himself, dashing through the enemy Cloud9. He's able to get safe and sound. Will the execute happen? Will the execute happen?
No.
Taunt will prevent QO Fred from going deep, and now he's in trouble. Gets the kill! That's a second kill for Paradigm, and QO looks like he will be safe.
Will Stealth? No, Stealth didn't blow it up. Lobster, very low here, doesn't get the rewind off. Omega finally joins the fray here, finds the So Beautiful. Stealth or not, can see right through it. Gonna find now 2 for 2. Cloud9 showing that they're still alive.
I loved that kill from Omega. That is veteran play. You understand, with Stealth, we've seen it for a long time with Loki's. If you understand the thought process of a pro player and everything, you can understand where they're going to go. Right through the wall with So Beautiful, nails Cuvo. You got my teammate, but I'm going to make you pay for it. Cloud9 evens up the game 2-2.
Yeah, it was good play by Cloud9, but Paradigm really gave that to Cloud9. They chased way too far, stayed way too long. That was more of a mistake by Paradigm than Cloud9 playing well there. So it was good by Cloud9 to take advantage of it for sure.
Very, very true. You got to take what you're given.
Yeah.
Even if you're given it, you have to take it off the table. Annenster going to sit here in the middle lane with Jeff, and they're going to hold the wave, allowing their mid laner to get experience and gold for it as well.
I'm kind of wondering what that fight would have looked like had Lobster actually gotten the rewind off.
Right.
He died right in... Oh, wait, look at this. Xaylia is so cheeky.
No, that's AFK.
No, but he steals away the blue buff, actually leaving one of the creeps up to just make Mackey's life even worse in this lane, despite the fact that he's already down by 700.
That's one of my favorite moves that we've seen less and less, but I think with how fast jungle camps are respawning, we're going to see it come back. What happens is the camps don't respawn until all the characters are dead. So by leaving one minion up, that'll just delay even more the length of time that it'll take to get that buff.
Dude, this Emerald Acorn is brutal right now.
Going back to what you said earlier about how Europeans were building the Opal Acorn, Ratatoster's been out for a long period of time, so I think they've had more time to experiment, and a lot of the solo landers are starting to transition over to the Emerald just because it's saying,
Sustain is just so
Look at
strong. Ratatosker able to dive onto the tower. He'll lose a lot of his HP, but as soon as that second ability comes up, it's off cooldown right now, he'll be able to heal.
And this is what's so important is Opal gives you the damage, right? Which is why the junglers tend to favor it. But he is not looking for kills in this lane. Zayla's just like, you can keep going back. I'll just keep pushing you out little by little, and it's really turning into something special here. It's almost 1,000 gold now.
Yeah, going back to that too. Gold. We gotta find a mid here.
Yeah, look at this. Whoa, whoa. Trick's really low here. Gonna get blown up. Accidentally body blocked by Cubo Fred. Miscommunication turns out into a big win for Cloud9.
Athena taunt into Zeus ult. That's a classic.
Yeah, the core is just so strong.
You were talking about it before, Aurora. Just the stuns from Thor, the direction from Athena, and the straight raw damage from Zeus. It's a great core composition, and I mean, you just can't get more basic than that. Taunt into the large circle and stun them so they're in it. It's a classic in Smite.
Wow!
Oh
my God! That damage! He uses the blue acorn perfectly there, slowing, dashing past, getting all 12 to hit on the way back. Mackie losing the tower here, gonna make the teleport even weaker.
He's forced out again. He loses his tower as well, and people have to realize that the kills aren't as much as minions now with the new patch that just came out.
That's right. Yeah. He's getting a lot of extra experience. He's using the tower to strip them away. The gold lead extends even farther now to almost 1,300, and the gold fury hasn't even been taken. And oh my God, look at the experience per minute. He's like, hey, what can I farm? I'll go take that creep I left.
This is just what we've come to expect out of Xaylia. There's a reason why Europe voted him in a region with extremely volatile solo laners. There's a reason Xaylia's crowned the MVP in that region. He's able to not just do this, but do this with a new god. Do this with a god that players haven't seen, players haven't really practiced with.
So for me, I think for those of you at home who are playing the fantasy game on alphadraft.com, Xaylia, I really hope you picked him.
to say the absolute least, just able to do whatever he wants in this lane. He has the freedom.
I mean, and there's no way to stop him. He has 11 dashes and an ult that lets him go anywhere on the map while healing himself, right? Like, and slows.
One thing that we haven't even talked about that much is the Ao Kuang. Once it gets to late game, he's going to be doing so much work. And the Ratatosker as well. We've just been talking all Xaylia. But this Ao Kuang has just been farming up. He's going to be really strong in the late game.
That's right. And he's reaching critical mass now. Level 14 is Ao Kuang's strongest level, where Wildstorm, Dragon Call are both going to be maxed, on top of the fact that he'll have access to his level 3 ultimate. But that doesn't mean he gets any weaker as the game goes on. He tends to just stagnate out at, the most damage ever.
You usually rank your 1 instead of your ultimate as Ao Kuang after you get 1 rank in it. So he has more ranks in his 1 because it does unbelievable damage.
Right, well, we actually get a lot of damage out of the ultimate as well, on top of the fact that the healing potential allows him to be more dangerous. We've seen players do both.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to take bets here because the next level, what is he gonna do? You got us one. You're right.
Yeah.
You got me. My man.
That's why we have him. But so we've seen the raw potential of what this Ao Kuang can bring to the table. If you guys have watched the summer split at all, Team Eager's Dare to Care, the jungler, actually one-shot a player late game.
Yeah, Polynomicon, Soul Reaver, activate Dragon Call, and apply with Girdle of Might the Wildstorm.
Yeah.
Hits for 4 separate points of damage and kills people.
Able to just take people out in a single bound. So Ao Kuang definitely talked a lot about how late game, definitely able to do it.
Mackie's in there. This is beautiful. Right to the air.
Ooh.
Thor goes as well. Nothing found. Anister again off the mark. Nothing gained there on that invade. Who got the speed?
Speed went to
Oh, wait,
Cubo Fred.
Xaylia's in. Oh, the huge shield plus the Geb shield. Dart still available. He's looking for... No, Cubo got him.
Wrong way to jump, my friend. Lobster gets credit for 1 kill. Ao Kuang in the air. He'll land aggressively. Andenster died by the ghost explosion. Cubo Fred showing the small mechanics that show that he has practiced on this god and is ready to go.
Man, if you guys missed that, lightning fast, lands down, 2 auto attacks, cancels into the Wildstorm, and then teleports, explodes the decoy for the kill. That's the kind of play we're looking at from Ao Kuang.
And again, the stuff after the stuff. Paradigm, no, not new players go directly to the Gold Fury.
Yeah, looking at that, if that was Barracuda possibly, he might have checked the Gold Fury just with Omega's inexperience in the duo lane. So they were able to get that for free as well. But the team also rotated over, so they would have got it eventually, but it would have been a little bit more delayed.
Once again, Xaylia backing with enough gold to buy a full item. This time, Jotun's Wrath coming out. 40 damage, 11 pen, little bit of mana, and of course 25% cooldown reduction.
That's just going to allow more abilities to come out more often, and Ratatosker is one of the easiest examples of an ability-based god. The god, sure, basic attacks are nice, but it's all about those acorns.
All about getting those abilities off as much as possible. Lobster going to be taunted out here, losing very little health thanks to a beautiful gift shield. And Cubo Fred, in a rare moment of clarity, decides to not jump into 3 people.
Yeah, Athena's really like not the best against Geb because of the shield, but they played it really well there. Thor walled, they got the Geb shield out, and then Athena taunted, which was really good. But because Cloud9's so far behind, they didn't really get any damage off it because the Zeus is afraid of the Ratatasker ult, and he's also afraid of Alquan coming in from the flank. So he just has to watch himself, so he's not able to follow up as much as he wants to.
For me, Paradigm's comp is absurd because you have Kronos and Freya both looking to do their auto attacks for damage, right? Which means you can't build Midgardian Mail. It's not going to help you, right? Then you have just flat damage coming out from Cubo Fred. Look at this. He's getting chased. Geb shield. Look at the stun. More damage. 3-man Cataclysm. Paradigm is on a tear.
Lobster picks up 1, and they're still chasing Mr. Mackey. Mr. Mackey, Cubo Fred gets the kill. Mackey going back to the base for 30 seconds.
Omega is going back to the base as well, or at least he hopes to. No, it's stopped. Forced to use the moves. His ultimate's already on cooldown. They should go to Fire Giant.
Yeah, Omega will be safe here. It's just a matter of how far he's got to run.
That's the wrong side of the map.
Not quite. He's going to force the fight. That's the fun ball we all know. And, well, some people love. Cubo Fred fills it out. Omega, one more time.
I think you and Omega were on the same page there.
Well, I think I'm safe.
Yeah, you're safe.
Except I'm not. Unfortunately, I mean, that's just wrong place to back.
Yeah, looking at Trix here, like, that shield was great. He got him out of the CC, and then he had a great Geb ultimate to stop
the 3-man Cat.
Yeah, that was crazy. Really good play by Trix there. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, and going back to that Omega death, I mean, that's fun ball. He is one of the most aggressive players we have here in the SPL. You've got to expect that.
So we're 16 minutes in here. Fire Giant still stands. Gold Fury down for another 2 minutes. And most of the jungle even cleared. This is going to put us back to a strange, rather footsie-based farming game, unless someone steps out of position.
And if this is a farming game, it's going to be really good for Paradigm, because they have 4 hyper carries on their team. It's crazy. The Alquang, Freya, Kronos, and Ratatasker. And then supporting them is probably the best support to support a hyper carry, which is Geb. So their comp is really strong right now in this farm game. So they're happy with just farming away.
Last game, Cloud9 had one real, deep breath, one good exhale, and that was, we got the hyper carry, we'll kill Freya. Now if that happens, there's still, Ratatosker and Kronos to deal with.
Yeah.
And God forbid Kronos gets that rewind off in a fight, man. You are going to feel
And then it's another hyper carry, then it's 5 instead of 4.
I mean, Kronos, one of the bigger things about Kronos is that he's always ready for a fight. He's never low on mana because it costs him virtually no mana to farm. As you watch, as long as Lobster uses this passive correctly, he'll be able to clear the wave for free. So Lobster always ready for a fight regardless of what's happening. Cloud9 can't really pull the wool over anybody's eyes on this team.
So with that, Spear getting started up here by Cubo Fred, 4-1-2 right now after the Wing Blade. I'm expecting his final 2 items to be Soul Reaver and Polynomicon.
Yeah, possibly. We'll have to see for sure. I don't know. He might not go Poly. He's probably going to go Soul for sure, but we'll have to see on that. Right now, the way Paradigm's playing is they're just farming, and as long as they're farming, they're happy with that. They're a better late game team than Cloud9, so they could sit here all day and keep killing minions if they want.
They already have a ridiculous lead. In fact, let's take a look at the graphs. It's been a little while. You'll see experience difference to the tune of 9,500. You can really see that relevant in Zalia being 4 levels ahead of Mackie. Cubo's got 2 on Andy. This is brutal.
I will mention, though, Omega does have a level up on Funball.
They're even now. He just hit that as you said
about half a level up on Funball. So that's something's going on there. Something is going on there. Funball's rotating a little bit more, I think, out of the lanes and getting what he wants, but it's just a matter of time.
So speaking of time, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. With that, Fire Giant becomes a little more prevalent in this stage of the game. People really looking to ward more for it, defend more for it, aggress onto it. They want to try to bait fights near it. And Paradigm's going to have a good opportunity to force Cloud9 into a fight they don't want to be in. And what They lack in the ability to do absurd damage and hypercarry in the endgame. What they do make up for it is choke point control. Zeus literally shuts down entire parts of the jungle here, but you can see Lobster cares very little for Zeus's nonsense.
Let's take a look at, well, we just left him, but take a look at Cubo for, well, Paradigm will start up the Gold Fury one more time. Cloud9 all on board, but no vision. Take a look at Cubo Fred. We see that he hasn't really updated his ultimate at all, even since we talked about it before.
Yeah. The one does crazy damage, so that's why he's going into it. The ultimate still is going to execute at 30%.
That's
right.
why
he's keeping it at 30%.
The threshold never changes.
Yeah. So, but the one damage does, and that's what you want, more damage. We got to fight in mid.
Jeff's gone. Jeff's got absolutely decimated. Fun ball. Oh, I thought was going to take to the sky. Smart of Anistar to get out of there quickly. MLC Stealth still hasn't used his ultimate, strangely enough, and he's going to get turned on. Maybe too little too late. He goes into the beats here. Beautiful teleport for the shot, and Lobster will find the kill.
One more basic, and that's all he needed. MLC Stealth tried to wait around in the ultimate, but not able to really save himself. Trickstang gonna take the tower because all 4 members of his team are gonna show up. Now, Freya, not the most adept at killing the towers, but oh boy, Kronos, the opposite. Quite frankly, Kronos might be the best tower killer in the game.
He is the highest single target tower damage, period. Accelerate, adding 45% of his damage directly to his auto attacks, ensuring that he does completely absurd amounts, especially once he has penetration online. Which I am assuming we're going to see Obsidian Shard somewhere down the line here.
And because he's a mage as well, mages, the way mage basic attacks, it gets very mathy, but essentially at home, the way mages, they get a bonus for basic attacking the towers, and Kronos on top of that gives himself a bonus. So he gets essentially double dips, while most mages only get 1. So
well, let's quadruple dip it here, because he just picked up Ratatosker for a 25% increase to his power, and now has gotten a red buff, which is another increase to his power. Just God help the person that winds up in a boxing match against Lobster right now. Except for maybe Freya, I guess. He could box his own teammate and it would go pretty even. Otherwise, it's going to be Kronos.
Yeah, Lobster really not afraid of anything here in the middle lane, 21 minutes in, hanging out by himself. Meanwhile, Zelia getting aggressive, no problem. He's been on this blue buff the entire game.
It's his buff now. That is his side of the map. And I'm not talking about top and bottom. The right side of the map now belongs to Zaylee completely. Mackie out of position at his own blue buff. Like, that's where things have gotten crazy. You see good rotation over to right. Jeff Himla, again, taking a lot of damages. I think Andy took to the sky there.
Andy did go up, and he's going to play defensively.
Yeah. So one thing that Jeff was doing there, he dashed in, and Strix had a really good knock-up on him. And that's just one of the most frustrating feelings as an Athena player is when you dash in and you look to taunt, but your taunt gets canceled.
Look at this in the back line. You're going to see Jeff Himla and Stealth try to make the play forward. Mackie already in there thanks to the teleport. Mackie might have overcommit here. Two-man Kata. We're going to get some damage off from Zeus, but I think it's a little bit too late in the game, and he's a little bit too low level for this to work.
Zeus going to fall down to the blink out of Cubo one more time. Funball in the air, dealing out so much damage. They're going to send Anderson running to the right. He'll die. They're going to send Omega running to the left. He'll die. And there's a deicide going the way of Paradigm.
Right there.
Fire
F6. F6. I knew it was coming. 100%. They have 5 hypercarries. You called it. They don't have 4. Lobster went down to 1% in that fight and rewinded out of it. They knew that was absolutely done for. The European underdogs looking like powerhouses here. This could be a team favorite going into day 3.
Yeah, they're playing great. Paradigm just looks amazing to how they've looked at previous lands.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing so much incredible power from Paradigm. Just not really what we expected. So, very cool stuff.
I'm absolutely blown away by it. I mean, realistically, the early game didn't even go that badly this time for Cloud9. They were much closer at the 6-minute mark than they were in the previous, but the issue is Zelia went into a very unique build, right? Going into that Emerald, giving so much potential of frontline damage to the team, and I can't believe how much damage he was doing with the Flurry of Acorns, man. Insane.
Just the amount of distance he created between himself and Mackie.
And the early game kill on him really put Mackie in a tough spot. You saw most of the Bologna ults were out of the fight, so yeah.
That was a team comp, man. Plain and simple. That team comp needed to be rushed down. They didn't have any opportunity to do it whatsoever. They took control early. Paradigm looking super strong. And what's crazy is we're normally talking about non-stop duo lane. And while Trix and Fumball have had amazing games, Fumball getting MVP last game, it's been the Lobster Show. I mean, he's just been unstoppable.
Yeah, this one was all around Paradigm. Let's see what the analysts think over there at the analyst desk. Kevin, take it away.
Welcome back to the Analyst Desk, hosted by Curse Voice. I'm here with Bart, and Cloud9 drops the second game.
Yeah.
Again, I would high five for EU, but
let's do it. High five for EU.
Paradigm
EU may actually win a game at this lane, or a match.
Or a match, the first best of 3. They haven't won since Lodge Tournament. But it was a completely different composition from game 1, where it seems Paradigm had this whole plan set out. They had a very tanky, slow, CC-oriented team composition, and in this game it's kind of like, well, all these really powerful hyper carries are available. Let's grab them.
Yeah, it was a weird. You're right. I mean, and so the theme of both games was we're going to fight you.
Mm-hmm.
In game number 2, though, they didn't really draft a team that was exceptionally good at that, which was kind of strange, right? But still played that kind of game and found the way to steamroll through Cloud9, even with like big counter initiation ults like Zeus.
Yes.
It wasn't able to make it happen.
And we even saw the Zeus split the team a couple times, but it was really a lot of flanking coming in, and it seems like all of Paradigm were on the same page. When one person went in, they all went in. They all full committed. Even if they had to disperse at first, they always counter or re-engage.
It was